This is On the Couch with Dr. K, a show focused on answering the questions of urban and hip-hop adults rising to reach personal stars in daily life. Brought to you each week by Miller Medical Clinic. Now, here's your hostess, Dr. K.
And good afternoon. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here on AM 990 KWAM Talk Radio. And today we have an absolutely beautiful show for you. We are talking about the elements of beauty and attractiveness. I know you all have all heard the phrase, hey, good looking. And sometimes people go, are you talking about me? Yes, we're talking about you and how good looking all of us are. But we also know that the beauty trends throughout the years sometimes will either create good self-esteem or high self-esteem in some of us, or low self-esteem. And I have some beauty experts who are here with me today. They are people with just trained eyes to look for beauty in people, to look for that it factor. And I have been just very fortunate to actually work with them on Friday at the historic and beautiful Orpheum Theater. They had a wonderful photo shoot there. It was very creative. If any of my Facebook friends out there will look at my Facebook page at Dr. K Streeter or the fan page and On the Couch with Dr. K, you will see some of the photographs that we had from that photo shoot, and it was actually based on the Phantom of the Opera, but it looked at couture fashions. And let me tell you, it was fabulous, and the fashions were to die for. That little pearl dress, I thought, okay, little model girl, I'm going to take that dress from you. It was absolutely gorgeous. So without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and we'll start with ladies first.
Okay. Hello, my name is Kimberly Rayford. I'm the owner of Rayford Elite Management. I'm a talent management company where I manage different organizations, models, artists, and anybody looking for positive representation.
All right. Thank you, Kimberly, and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Going right around the room.
And hi, I'm John Mathis. I am the CEO and publisher of Tie in a Bow magazine. Also John Mathis Photography as well. I'm the photographer for that, and this was the brainchild of Tied in a Bow.
Yes, and I'm pointing to this beautiful, elegant magazine here, Tied in a Bow magazine, which is really high quality, has beautiful pictures in it. And so we'll make sure that before the end of this show, we will talk about how people can get this magazine. Right. Okay, great. So before I go any further, I want to say hello to my friends at Miller Medical Clinic. We know that in general, models tend not to eat, but we know that there were some at your photo shoot. You had lots of different types of models, and that was excellent. I really enjoyed seeing that. But for those of us who have that New Year's resolution where we want to lose that 10 pounds, and I personally lose the same 10 pounds every year, but say hello to Dr. Art Miller at Miller Medical Clinic. They're located at 1900 Kirby Parkway, and that's in Germantown, Tennessee. They have great hours Monday through Saturday, and you may give them a call at 901-624-6885. So make sure if you want to lose weight, give them a call. You may also look them up online at artmillermedical.com. So remember, don't wait, lose weight. Call artmillermedical.com today. So, wow, we are asking the question, or at least talking about the topic today, hey, good looking. And I think it's a great topic for the new year. And so let me say Happy New Year to all of you beautiful people who are out there. And we're really, hopefully, we will shed some light on this whole concept and culture around beauty and attractiveness, not only for women, but for men as well. Because men have some issues with that too. A lot of times we like to make it appear as if men are just, gruff and all they care about is money and sex or something like that. But I think they also care about, you're laughing. What?
But the sex part in it.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about in general.
It could have been money and cars or something like that.
Right.
Well, we all know what the money and cars are supposed to be leading to, right? Okay.
That's right.
But we also know that men can suffer from low self-esteem as well.
True.
Now, I do know some out there who suffer from high self-esteem, but we're going to reach out to those. We're going to reach out to those brothers out there who suffer from low self-esteem. So we're right at our very first break. If you would like to participate in this conversation, call us and let us know whether or not you have high self-esteem or low self-esteem, or what you think about attractiveness, or even what these two people look for in terms of models and talent. Give us a call at 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-KWAM. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K, right here on AM 990 Talk Radio.
You can listen to AM 990 everywhere on your iOS or Android mobile device. Simply go to KWAM990.com for all the details.
This is the story of a boy wizard whose name was Larry Smarter.
Larry, why weren't you in Professor Dinky Doodle's mythical creature classification class?
Larry wanted to go to college, so he visited knowhowtogo.org to find which classes he really needed.
You missed the lesson on telling dragons from dragonflies.
Right. I want to go to college, so I'm taking Algebra 2, Biology, and a foreign language.
Foreign language? You mean so you can talk to unicorns?
Well, not exactly. Unless they're French.
But Larry had no time for unicorns, or even for Miss Petunia Tutia's time-traveling tutorial, which met every other yesterday at 25 o'clock.
Sorry I'm late. My snarkball game went into overtime.
And he knew knowhowtogo.org was way better than hoping for a snarkball scholarship. So, while his friends all aced invisibility, when Larry finally got to college, they were nowhere to be seen.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Twilight Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today.
Now you can listen and watch too. Go to our website to listen online and to see our studio cam, KWAM990.com.
Hey, are you trying to lose weight? Miller Medical Clinic has the latest in 20 different forms of phentermine, including Belviq, Suprenza, and Qsymia. He also has B12, lipotronic, and testosterone injections, and sinus cocktails. I know Dr. Miller. He's devoted to your overall health and wellness and your weight loss. Contact Miller Medical Clinic at 901-624-6885 or www.artmillermedical.com. So don't wait, lose weight. Call now, Miller Medical Clinic, 901-624-6885.
Join AM 990 KWAM on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/KWAM 990.
You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K, right here on AM 990 KWAM. And we are talking about, hey, good looking, the standards of beauty and attractiveness throughout the years, and whether or not it gives you good self-esteem or negative self-esteem. And if you'd like to participate in this conversation, give us a call at 901-260-5926. And I believe we have a caller, right? Okay. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
I'm just.
Hello? I'm sorry. Well, caller, call back. We're friendly here. So you're more than welcome to give us a call and ask a question or a comment. So while we're waiting for that, I'd like to just start off with asking both of you about your photo shoot. I noticed in your photo shoot, you had, how many models there? It seemed like it was about 15 or
17 models.
Okay.
Yes.
17 models.
Crew.
And they were of various shapes, sizes, ages. Tell us about your choices for models and why you chose the people you chose.
Well, we chose based upon appeal in how they acted and how they relaxed. What I discovered about beauty, especially in photographing models throughout the years, and even individual people too, is beauty comes from people when they relax, when they open their heart.
Wow.
The beauty's within, and it truly is.
Okay.
It not only makes a better picture, but people relax and show themselves. So if you ever noticed a picture of someone standing straight up and they're stiff and you can't see anything except the stiff.
Right.
But a model relaxes and it shows through her eyes. And it doesn't matter what color they are, what sex they are, or what kind of person they are, or how they look. It's irrelevant.
The body type, none of that.
Yeah. All the standards that the world has and the fashion industry has go away.
Right.
Many times the snaggle teeth and the high cheekbones and the big eyes that they're made fun of as kids actually are marks of beauty.
That is very true. The very thing that you are teased about, like Google eyes or whatever, then people say, oh, your eyes are so beautiful now. So you have to really hold your head up high. And it also seems to be, fickle. And maybe in the 80s, everybody's into large breasts. But then by the 90s, you need to have small breasts. I mean, if you were to go with the fashion trends, you would have plastic surgery every 10 years, right? To look like the newest thing. So, yes, it sounds like it really has to come from the inside.
It does. And that's truly what we judge it by. Nothing else.
And all of those models I saw there just looked absolutely gorgeous to me.
Absolutely.
And so that means that they were really able to shine through. And I noticed that on your set, it was not the typical set that you would think of in terms of, a lot of cattiness or people being mean with each other. Everybody seemed to really like each other and to get along with each other.
I think that's critical on a shoot.
Yes, it was very, very good.
We like to have people that get along because it helps people relax more.
Okay.
And when people feel loved and they feel inspired, and they get along with each other, they have a good time. They relax. They let themselves out.
Right.
You ever notice that when you your friends that you like real well, they may be the world's definition of not so good looking, but to you, they're the most beautiful people in the world.
Exactly.
But we've also seen people that we thought were absolutely gorgeous. The world thought was gorgeous.
And then
but when they're mean to
yes.
you, they were ugly.
Yes, exactly. Right. And sometimes
thing.
people actually transform right there before your eyes.
Right.
You know, you look at this person in one way, and then maybe you fall in love with that person. And now all of a sudden they just look beautiful. Like they talk about, you know, a mother loving her child. And even in the Phantom of the Opera, you know, he had a face that only a mother would love. And so you're really looking at through a different pair of eyes.
That's correct.
Yes, you're really looking with your heart.
Yes, that's what you see is what we try to encourage on all our sets.
Okay, good.
When you're shooting up in New York and Milan and Rome and those places, it's not that kind of atmosphere at all. There's a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, and cattiness.
Exactly. That's why I was like, let me come late just to be on the safe side.
right.
So, Kim, tell us how you fit into all of this and how you choose people that you want to represent. What do you look for when you're looking for that it factor or that attractiveness in men and women?
Okay, what I'm looking for when people come to me, first of all, is a positive attitude. Your attitude makes you the best looking person, well-rounded person, individual that you possibly can be. Looks are not going to get you too far now in the industry because people can be made gorgeous that wasn't also or had scars or problems that they think that did not make them good-looking individual. So things can be changed now in a mirror where you can't see it. Flaws can be taken away, freckles and different things like that. So you can be gorgeous, but if you have a bad attitude, you're not positive, you're not a team player, motivated, and self-confidence is everything. And that's what I look for, to be honest.
Really?
I don't care if you're 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 90 pounds, 40 pounds. It really makes a difference if you're a team player and a people's person, because when you're interacting with different models of different ethnicity, male, women, different consumers, people, sponsors, if you cannot work with them, then you won't work. No matter what you look like.
Okay.
You know, people, we rather deal with people that's positive and motivated than someone that's maybe gorgeous to, eyesight, but have a nasty attitude.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, my two criteria for models, and there's just two, is a willingness to learn and a positive attitude.
Wow.
Everything else can be trained. Everything else, we can have makeup artists, hairstylist, everything, and we can make anyone, regardless of their weight, regardless of disability, everything they made to be absolutely look gorgeous.
Right.
And it's not trickery, but it's letting that come out. The attitude is what let it to come out.
Exactly.
When you don't have the attitude, no amount of makeup, no amount of Photoshop, change that.
Exactly. So basically, you're saying people need to be there and be nice.
That's right.
It is.
Be there and be nice, and you'll have it going on.
That's right.
That's great. And I noticed in your magazine, you even had, you talked about disabilities. Right. I noticed that one of your models was in a wheelchair. Even.
That's correct.
Yeah, so tell us about that, what made you make that decision.
Well, it was an excellent idea of one of our vendors up in Wisconsin, and Wicks and Candlesticks. And the idea behind it was, she said, I'm looking for a picture of a bride in a wheelchair. And so I started looking at stock agencies. I couldn't find a single one anywhere in the world.
Okay.
I said, well, they're seriously underrepresented, so we used that. And in addition, this spring, we're going to be doing a fashion shoot for people with disabilities, whether it's in a wheelchair or whether it's speech or whether it's hearing or whatever it is.
Okay, so
we'll
come
physical, mental, neurological, whatever type
whatever
of
it is, we'll let them come in with their families.
Oh, wow.
We will male or female, we'll dress them up, hairstyle and makeup. We're going to they're going to look like these models in the magazine, and we're going to put them in the magazine.
Oh, I love it already. It just sounds beautiful already. Like
absolutely.
I want to see that for sure.
It'll be great.
For sure. That sounds really, really, really good. Well, I think it's almost time for a break. We'll wait till Dee comes back. But I really like that that concept that you have of just being inclusive.
That's right.
Right.
And that's beautiful in and of itself. And I just know some people who are very inclusive people. And it seems like everyone is drawn to them because they have such a big heart.
That's correct.
And we all know that person where maybe physically they're just average, but it just looks like everybody's in love with this person. And you're like, what is it about this woman or what is it about this guy that people are drawn to? And it's that charisma, that charm, that openness.
The acceptance.
Yes, that acceptance of other people.
That's correct.
And that really makes people want to be with them.
That's right.
So if you want to be beautiful, you can be. You have to work on it, though, from the inside out.
It's kind of like this. If you want to be beautiful, that charisma you're talking about, it works this way. You go to meet a new person, or wherever that's at, or new people, and you make up your mind beforehand that you're going to like that person and like them a lot.
Wow.
You don't wait and sit back and say, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to see the give and take and see what happens. No, you go make up your mind ahead of time. I'm going to like that person, and you're determined to do it. And every single time you will be.
Wow. I love that. I never heard
That's
of that.
That's where the charisma comes
great.
from. That's where the inspiration and people start finding to be physically beautiful as well as spiritually and emotionally, socially beautiful. Yes.
I like that. I like that. Well, you all have talked us up to our second break, and right after this break, we will come back with our stats and facts, and then we'll look at what some of our Facebook friends had to say about this topic. Hey, good looking, have the standards of beauty throughout the years given you good self-esteem or bad self-esteem? And we actually put up pictures of a lot of different people. We had older, younger, black, white, male, female, because I noticed that in this year even, we've seen a lot of different beauty standards kind of broken.
Right.
You know, and I remembered the young Lupita, the young lady who was voted one of the most beautiful women by People. Very dark-skinned, slim young lady. She was in 12 Years a Slave. And I just had so many text messages come into me from women who look like her saying, yes, I feel validated.
Yes.
You know, because she doesn't have the long flowing hair. She has like her short, natural hair. And this woman is so gorgeous. I mean, absolutely out of the park. And people tend to talk a lot about her charisma and who she is and how she is, but she's also physically beautiful now, for sure. She has great bone structure.
Absolutely.
So we'll be right back after these messages. If you'd like to participate in this conversation, give us a call at 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-KWAM. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here on Talk Radio. Karen Streeter Psychological Consulting is a firm dedicated to helping parents, schools, churches, and organizations assess and treat learning, emotional, and behavior difficulties in children. We offer services such as IQ testing, academic testing, behavior analysis, behavioral planning, preventive counseling, parent training, staff development, professional development, crisis management, and risk assessment, and so much more. To enrich the lives of your children, call Karen Streeter Psychological Consulting at 901-650-2569 or email me at kstreeter5@aol.com.
Join me, Bruce Love, host of Sunday Mornings with Brother Love, every Sunday here on AM 990. Tune in Sunday mornings and let's talk religion, politics, and everything in between. Call in at 901-260-5926 and tell me about your church announcements and what's so good about your church. And if your pastor's doing something great in the community, I want to hear about it. I will highlight their good deeds on the show.
Sunday mornings with Brother Love at 8 a.m. right here on KWAM 990, the voice of Memphis.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson reminding everyone to be alert, slow down, and stay safe in school zones. As schools open their doors, more young pedestrians will be on the streets, in their neighborhoods, and in and around schools. In the school zone, please limit cell phone use. Do not pass other vehicles in school zones or at crosswalks, and look out for children darting into the streets. Help every child to make it to school and home safely. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Cry-Like Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry-Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today.
KWAM 990, the voice of Memphis.
Girl that you with.
Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl. There's something about you. Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl.
You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K right here on AM 990 KWAM, and we are saying, hey, good looking. We're looking at standards of beauty throughout the ages and how it affects self-esteem in both men and women. So now it's time for us to get to our stats and facts, and these are always found by my super intelligent intern, Stanley Shotwell II. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you. I have to hear my little bells for Stanley every time. Okay, so Stanley found this information for me, and what I asked him to do was to just look at what were the standards starting back from as far as he could gather data. So he started, because he is fabulous, he started back from the 1400s. Now, this was my era. I like this era because in the Renaissance, women were more voluptuous than in any other time in history. You've heard of, Zoptic beauties, or what is it, Rubenesque looking people. If you look at paintings from this era, it depicts women who would likely be considered
plus size,
overweight or obese or plus size by today's standard. But back then, these full-figured ladies were the epitome of sexy. So, if you ever want to time travel, I think I might go back to back then. So, now, in the next era, the Victorian era, from 1837 until 1901, get this, the body type had to do with having a tiny waistline. And they also wore bustles in the back to emphasize the derriere. So Nicki Minaj. Right. That's today. When I didn't realize that all those ruffles and things in the back, that was to emphasize the derriere. And now, just like way back in 1837, you are starting to see waist trainers, the corsets, and it's actually kind of changing your internal organs to make your waist smaller. And that's exactly what women were doing back during the Victorian era. And I think now this is a myth, but I could see where it could be true. They talk about the fainting couch, and women were always fainting and having to lay out. That's because they couldn't breathe with the corsets on. Seriously, if here it says that sexy meant having the smallest waistline humanly possible. And in order to achieve this look, women wore corsets. Some were wound so tight that women could barely breathe, to the point where sitting down was completely out of the question. Many women would even break ribs trying to get their waistlines down to an inconceivable 12 inches. Ooh, that just sounds painful.
Some of the dresses today in fashion are still that way.
Wow.
And the women, especially wedding dresses, but the women cannot physically sit down.
Yes. Wow. With the boning and all that stuff. My goodness. Okay. Well, then we go to the Roaring 20s, where everything was the exact opposite. In the 20s, women wanted to hide their curves. In fact, some would even bind their chests with strips of cloth to achieve a boyish look. The loose silhouette of the short and swingy flapper dress was a stark contrast to the corseted waist of Victorian era gowns. So, you had to have the bobbed hair, and you pretty much had to look like a boy. In 1930s and 40s, I love this age too, women were becoming more body conscious. They actually started lifting a little weights, and they were letting their arms and legs show. So now you're starting to get, kind of into the bombshells, like with Rita Hayworth and people of that factor. And let's see, I'm trying to think of a black person would be maybe like Dorothy Dandridge, with that beautiful figure like that. Then if you start getting into the 50s, now we're looking at that hourglass figure with Marilyn Monroe. So I kind of like that one too, and Grace Kelly. And if for those of you who don't know about them, think of Betty Draper, when she first appeared on Mad Men, that type of a figure, which was really kind of like a size 10 or 12 by today's standards. In the 1960s, we started literally looking like twigs. We went to the really popular skinny models of the day, like Twiggy. And look at that picture of her. That would be considered kind of anorexic, I would think. But I don't want to criticize people who are naturally slim, because if you're naturally slim, that's beautiful as well. But this just looks a little, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's a natural slimness. It looks like it was kind of created just a little bit. But in the 60s, we really started to look at being slim. In the 70s, we were still with the slimness, but it was a healthier slim, and people started to show their own skin tone. So now you're looking at the bronzers and the tanners, and we're talking about Farrah Fawcett with the hair and all of that. In the 80s, women really emphasized fitness. So that's when you started seeing the leotards and the Let's Get Physical with Olivia Newton-John. And let's see, who else did they have? All of the different fitness videos. And then you also had Madonna. Wow, they said that's Madonna. I didn't even realize that was her. And you also had big hair. And then in the 90s, we went back to being very slim, like Kate Moss, Jennifer Aniston. And then... so we stopped here at the 90s, and all of that came from stylecaster.com. So we have callers. Okay, so let me get to the caller in just 1 second. I do want to say this. Now, this is about Americans and their looks in general. According to a Gallup poll conducted in 2014, 66% of Americans aged 65 and older agreed or strongly agreed that they always feel good about their physical appearance, compared with 61% of 18 to 34-year-olds and 54% of middle-aged Americans who are the least likely to report feeling good about their appearance. So basically, get older and feel better about the way you look.
I think it's an acceptance. Plus, what you just described through all the stats was the standards have changed over time since the 1400s.
Exactly.
And yet we haven't. Just the standards.
That's very, very true. And then the last little part, which I think is interesting too, blacks and Hispanics are much more likely than whites, and to a lesser extent Asians, to say they always feel good about their appearance. More than 2/3 of blacks, 68%, Hispanics, 67%, feel good about their appearance, compared to only 55% of whites and 62% of Asians. And that comes from Gallup. Older Americans feel best about their physical appearance. So yay!
Yes, that's a good thing.
As you get older, you get a little bit more sense. Let's go to our caller. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Hello, Dr. K. How are you?
I am so fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. This is your sister.
Hi, sister. Hi, In the Ring with Randa. You have a question or a comment?
Yes. When you were discussing the different ways that people dressed in the different ages, we forgot about the Victorian age, and I think during that age, they actually thought of beauty being without a lot of hair on your forehead.
Oh,
they would
shave
their hair
I get what
off.
You're saying. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I think that was even
around
before
the forehead area. To have a larger forehead.
I know. Yeah, you're talking even. Yeah, it was even before the. Wouldn't that be the medieval times during the actual Queen Elizabethan period? I think that's what you're. So you're talking about the actual Queen Victoria. Yes, you're right.
And they would pinch their cheeks and bite their lips to make color.
Yes. Yeah. Ouch. That sounds painful too. Beauty is pain. My goodness. And back then, it seems like the bosom was emphasized as well, because they poofed all that up. And yes. Thank you for bringing out that point. I appreciate that.
You're quite welcome.
We know that you are another beauty guru, and you have a blog about the fabulous and glamorous life. So I appreciate you for calling in, and continue to listen. Okay.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Thank you so much. We have another caller. Okay. Hi, you're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
No, what is your question for today, Doctor? Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm doing excellent.
Wonderful. Well, today we're asking the question, we're talking about the standards of beauty. And do you feel like today's standards of beauty help people have good self-esteem or negative self-esteem? So what do you think about that?
I think it's a little bit of both because... don't get me wrong. Beauty is very good. But I think the inner person it has a lot to do with beauty because you could be gorgeous, drop down gorgeous, and have a bad attitude. And that can take from you. And you can have someone that's on the healthy side, but their disposition and the way they carry themselves is perfect.
Right.
But so much of American society is looking about obesity, how big a person is, that they will choose the slimmer person. So that's why I say it both sides. But I wish as Christians as the society as a whole would start looking at the inner person. How they act, the way they carry themselves. It just makes a big difference in, like, the work world. I'll put it for instance, like the work world, Dr. K.
Yes, ma'am.
How a lot of the people that want a receptionist, but they looking for that slim, pretty young lady. It could be a dumb blonde. It doesn't matter, but she has to be attractive because she's going to bring a lot of revenue into the business.
Right.
But then you can have this heavyset young lady, still got a good disposition, smart, got a lot to offer. I feel like a lot of times they choose that younger person person, but that beautiful person outside. And the best candidate is really the other person.
Right.
So I hope the world is listening and we make better decisions and better choices. Because you can really hinder and hurt people as a whole because we need to start looking at each other and how we carry ourselves and compliment each other more and just use better judgment of people when we making decisions.
Wow, thank you. You brought some great comments. We really appreciate hearing from you, and thank you so much for listening, okay?
All right, you have a great one.
Thank you. You do the same. And actually, while that caller was talking, I had DIA to text me and say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I agree with the caller.
It is.
Caller.
Totally.
Yes, it is totally. Tell us about that.
I think, really, as an artist, as a photographer and an artist, and I think all artists, we do see beauty differently. That's our job in life, is to see the beauty. And then we have to translate that to everyone else to see that.
Right.
As the caller was talking, I kept thinking of an old saying that we all learned when we were little, which was don't judge a book by its cover. And isn't that what we're doing?
Right.
In society, in the workplace, in church, and everywhere else, we're saying, oh, they're great looking, and society tells us, oh, that's a good person.
Yes.
But you're seeing the cover. You're seeing the ad.
That's very true. And you know what? That brings me to, remember earlier this year, there was a black male with blue eyes who was a felon. And his mugshot was so attractive that he actually, got a modeling contract. But everybody kind of, they glazed over the fact that he's a felon because, his physical beauty was so, high, I guess, that it kind of blinded people. And they often talk about, some people who are criminals who are able to be con artists. Right. A lot of times they're attractive because people will let their guard down because somebody is attractive. But yet when they see somebody who is not attractive, they will put their guard up. But now that I think about it, sometimes that works in the opposite way too.
It does at times.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
You can have that con artist who cannot be so good looking, but he's very charismatic.
Right.
He's open to people, and people misinterpret that.
Or you can have that really beautiful woman and people think she's a certain way. like she's a floozy, or she's out to get everybody's man, and that's not the case. Or a plain woman, and people think that she's never with men, and maybe she's been with the whole football team. Who knows? I'm not saying anything about that, but those things can occur. So that caller was really on the money when she says we have to start looking at people's. You have to look at the content of their character and not how they look on the outside. Wow. We have one more break. We're almost out of time. So let's have our last break, and we will have our 4-point star and a few more comments from Facebook, and then we'll be over. You'll be able to have your 10 seconds to shine. So, wow, yeah, it's 4:46. So we're asking the question, hey, good looking. Will today's standards of beauty give you high self-esteem or low self-esteem? If you would like to participate in this conversation, give us a call at 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-KWAM. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. Remember to go and like us on Facebook at On the Couch with Dr. K. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you.
The most local talk radio from Memphis, AM 990, KWAM.
Streeter's Total Beauty is a hair salon that invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of beauty today. Dial 901-649-0559. Look to Randa Patton Streeter's lifestyle blog, which also invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of high fashion and glamour. Like her on Facebook today. For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of Attorney Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and social security cases. Call today at 901-624-8852 for a free consultation.
Now you can listen to AM 990 everywhere on your iOS or Android mobile device. Simply go to KWAM990.com for all the details.
Hey, are you trying to lose weight? Miller Medical Clinic has the latest in 20 different forms of phentermine, including Belvique, Suprenza, and Qsimia. He also has B12, lipotronic, and testosterone injections, and sinus cocktails. I know Dr. Miller. He's devoted to your overall health and wellness and your weight loss. Contact Miller Medical Clinic at 901-624-6885 or www.artmillermedical.com. So don't wait, lose weight. Call now, Miller Medical Clinic, 901-624-6885. And you're back. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. And today we are saying, hey, good looking. Will today's standards of beauty, or even the standards of beauty throughout the ages, create negative or positive self-esteem for men and women? And on Facebook, I put up the pictures of many different actors and actresses. We have Lupita, I don't remember her last name. We also have Matthew McConaughey. We have Viola Davis. And I have Tracy, who says that Lupita and Viola help her to have positive self-esteem because she feels that Lupita is beautiful and has a positive attitude. And Viola shows us that black women over 40 are still strong and sexy. Now, I remember when Viola was chosen for the part that she's in, How to Get Away with Murder, a lot of things were said about her not being, quote unquote, classically beautiful. And people really reacted to that. So what are your thoughts about that whole classically beautiful statement? Anybody?
What I think about the classically beautiful is going back to beauty is an eye of the beholder. It all depends on what you're looking for and how you've been trained to look for beauty. And you're looking for a total person, just not one thing, the way they look, the way they carry themselves, the way they can be relaxed, the way they can be tangible with other people,
Right.
and the way they can grasp the crowd, like get
Right.
you engaged in what they're doing. Because
Exactly.
if you want a person to be in a movie, picture, photo shoot, whatever, you want them to, the people to see themselves within that person.
Oh,
so
okay.
if
Yeah.
you're just beautiful and they can't see you, or you're not a people's person, or like a sponge, absorbent, then they won't be able to really pay attention.
Okay.
And
Yes.
Viola has such a presence.
Yes, she really does. I mean, on that, they had a shot of her one time actually taking off her makeup. She took off all of her makeup, and I think she wears a wig on there, so she took the wig off, and this was all a part of the shot, and it showed just her natural face, and it was just so fascinating to just even see that, and it's a different type of beauty. It really is, because it really draws you in, and it made you look at her face and look at who she was as a person. And I have a text here, and this is from a teacher, and she says, I tell my students to come up with their own standards for beauty, making sure you remove the kinks and give a finished look.
Bravo.
Yes. So, this is a cosmetology teacher. Okay. Thank you.
True.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you for teaching those up and coming people who will be in that industry to come up with their own standards of beauty. Great comment. So now, wow, we're almost out of time. Let's get to our 4-point star for today. As we're talking about beauty and standards and low self-esteem and high self-esteem, the whole thing is about recognition. And I say to people, you know what? You better recognize. Recognize, recognize, recognize. So let's say that together. Recognize, 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 recognize. Number 1, recognize yourself. A lot of times when you have low self-esteem, you tend to not look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Recognize yourself and really take yourself in every day for at least 30 seconds. Look at yourself. Next, you want to, now that you're looking at yourself, you want to recognize your strengths. And I mean your physical strengths. Because a lot of times when we're looking in the mirror, we are recognizing what we don't like. Right. Start to train your eye to recognize what you do like. Number 3, recognize the fickleness of beauty trends. Recognize that this is something that's commercial. Maybe it's something that's fun for others, but it should not necessarily affect how you think about yourself. And lastly, recognize that self-esteem is your most attractive quality.
Yes, it is.
Whenever people are asking people on these dating shows, well, what do you think is the most attractive quality in a man or a woman? They always say confidence.
Yes.
And I believe that's true. And here from our talking today, apparently that's something that we all need to work on and recognize.
Believe in yourself.
Yes. So recognize yourself, recognize your strengths, recognize the fickleness of beauty trends, and lastly, recognize that self-esteem is your most attractive quality.
Right.
So in our last few minutes, I always give people 10 seconds to shine. So in our last minutes here, what would you like to say before we're done here? Whoever wants to start first.
I want to say that your confidence in yourself and your belief in yourself are the most important things that you can do. That leads to inspiring other people. And that is your true beauty. And everyone sees that. So believe in yourself and you'll believe in other people. That's what makes you beautiful.
Great. Yes, very good.
And when you have a beautiful spirit and a beautiful soul, that makes a total being. So you want to be a total being instead of just having 1 or 2 things that you like about yourself, like your total self, because it starts with self. And until you love yourself and like yourself and want nobody else, so it mainly starts with you.
Good.
Thank you, Thank you, Dr. K, for having us on today.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes,
you all have really
appreciate
caused quite a stir. In fact, I have one last text message here, and it says, for an example, Robin Givens is pretty, but her character and attitude that were displayed by the media has sent a very ugly message. So you don't ever want to be caught in that situation where you're actually very pretty, but you come off looking ugly because of your attitude.
That's right.
So people now don't even recognize her beauty.
That's true.
Wow. Great comment. Thank you so much. So, D, you have anything you want to say before we leave? You're just chilling. Good. Okay. That's because D is beautiful, and so he doesn't have to think about this at all. So, as always, in parting, I wish you a life full of love, peace, and happiness. If you cannot be in love, then at least try to be happy. And if you can't be happy, then at least try to be peaceful. But when your peace has been disturbed, then you need to change your situation. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to On the Couch with Dr. K right here on KWAM, AM 990, Talk of the South. Remember to like us on Facebook at On the Couch with Dr. K, and go to our brand new website where you can make suggestions for topics. You can hear our stats and facts. You'll actually get more information about Tied in a Bow at our website, which is On the Couch with Dr. K, and that's spelled out KAY.com. So thank you, and we will see you on the radio next time. Have a great Sunday. Bye. Bye. Wave at the camera. Bye.